If you've ever felt like happiness is something just out of reach, let me tell you, it's not the world around you that needs to change. It's you. Today we're diving into 10 essential truths that can transform how you think, act, and feel. These aren't quick fixes or surface level tips. These are practical lessons designed to create lasting happiness. Stick with me, and by the end you'll have a roadmap to a more peaceful, joyful life, no matter what's happening around you. Happiness is an inside job. Let me ask you something. How many times have you caught yourself thinking, if only I had this or that, I'd finally be happy? Maybe it's a bigger house, a better job, a different city, or even a new relationship. It's natural to think that way because we're conditioned to believe happiness comes from things outside of ourselves. But here's the truth: happiness doesn't start out there. It starts within you. You see, when you tie your happiness to something external, you're handing over your power. You're saying, I can't be happy unless this happens. That's a risky game, because what happens when that job doesn't come through? Or that house isn't as perfect as you imagined? Or when the relationship you thought would bring you joy ends up adding stress instead? The first principle you need to understand is that happiness is not about what happens to you. It's about how you choose to respond to what happens. Life throws challenges, setbacks, and frustrations at all of us. That's a given. But the difference between someone who feels content and someone who's constantly chasing happiness lies in their mindset. Let me share a simple example. Imagine two people stuck in traffic. One person is banging the steering wheel, fuming about being late, and feeling their stress levels rise. The other person, in the exact same situation, turns on some music or an audiobook and uses the time to relax or learn something. The traffic didn't change, the situation didn't change, but their response did, and that response determined their experience. The power of perspective. Happiness is about perspective. It's not about avoiding problems or challenges, it's about how you frame them. Some people look at a rainy day and think, ugh, another miserable day. Others see it as a chance to curl up with a good book or enjoy the sound of rain on the roof. The rain is the same for both people, but their perspectives make all the difference. So how do you shift your perspective? It starts with gratitude. Gratitude is the simplest, most effective way to change how you see the world. It's hard to feel unhappy when you're focused on the good things in your life. Every morning, take a moment to think about one thing you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's the cup of coffee you're holding, the sunrise you just saw, or the fact that you have a roof over your head. And every evening, reflect on one thing that went well that day. These small acts of gratitude can shift your focus from what's missing to what's present. Stop chasing, start cultivating. Now, let's talk about chasing happiness. There's a big difference between chasing and cultivating happiness. Chasing is exhausting. It's that constant feeling of I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I lose the weight, when I move to a better place. The problem with this mindset is that it puts happiness in the future, always just out of reach. Cultivating happiness, on the other hand, is about creating habits and mindsets that bring peace and joy into your life now, regardless of your circumstances. It's about appreciating what you have while working toward what you want. Here's a practical way to start cultivating happiness. Focus on progress, not perfection. Too often we tie our happiness to achieving something perfectly. But life isn't perfect, and neither are we. Progress, even if it's small, is something to celebrate. Did you take a step towards your goal today? That's a win. Did you learn something new, even if you made a mistake? That's growth. The role of self-awareness. Another crucial piece of the happiness puzzle is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to step back and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's about recognizing the patterns that keep you stuck and consciously choosing to change them. Ask yourself, am I chasing things I think will make me happy? Or am I building habits that actually bring me peace? This question is powerful because it forces you to evaluate where you're putting your energy. Are you constantly scrolling through social media, comparing your life to others? Or are you investing in yourself, your health, your growth, your relationships? When you're self-aware, you can catch yourself in the act of sabotaging your happiness. Maybe you notice that you're dwelling on negative thoughts or engaging in habits that don't serve you. The moment you become aware is the moment you can start to change. Happiness is a skill. Here's something most people don't realize: happiness is a skill. It's something you can learn and practice, just like playing an instrument or cooking a new recipe. The more you practice, the better you get. Start with small, intentional actions. Take time each day to do something that brings you joy. Maybe it's a walk in the park, calling a friend, or spending a few minutes journaling. These moments may seem insignificant, but over time they add up. And don't underestimate the power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply being present in the moment, fully experiencing it without judgment. When you're mindful, you're not worrying about the past or stressing about the future. You're here now, and that's where happiness lives. The ripple effect. One of the most beautiful things about happiness is that it's contagious. When you're happy, it affects everyone around you. Your positive energy inspires others, strengthens your relationships, and creates a ripple effect that can transform your environment. But the opposite is also true. If you're constantly negative, it drains not only your energy, but the energy of those around you. That's why it's so important to take responsibility for your own happiness. When you do, you're not just improving your life, you're lifting up everyone you come into contact with. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, happiness is a choice. It's not a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. You have to choose to focus on the good, to let go of what you can't control, and to build habits that support your well-being. So start today. Take one small step toward cultivating happiness from within. Remember, it's not about waiting for everything in your life to be perfect. It's about finding joy in the journey, even when the road is bumpy. Because when you realize that happiness is an inside job, you'll stop searching for it out there and start creating it right here. Success without balance is empty. Let's get one thing straight: chasing success at the expense of everything else isn't success. It's a trap, one that far too many people fall into. How often do we hear stories of someone who worked tirelessly to reach the top of their field, only to find themselves isolated, exhausted, or even sick? They got what they thought they wanted: a thriving career, a bank account full of zeros, but lost touch with the things that make life meaningful. It's easy to get caught up in the grind, thinking if I just push a little harder, sacrifice a little more, then I'll be happy. But here's the reality: success without balance doesn't bring fulfillment. It brings burnout, frustration, and often regret. The illusion of having it all. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle. We admire people who work 80-hour weeks and wear their exhaustion like a badge of honor. But have you ever stopped to wonder why so many of these successful people are still searching for happiness? They may have the corner office, the luxury car, or the accolades, but deep down they feel empty. The problem is that they've defined success too narrowly. They've focused all their energy on their careers while neglecting other crucial aspects of life like their health, relationships, and personal well-being. It's like building a table with only one sturdy leg. No matter how polished or impressive that leg is, the table won't stand without the others. What balance really means. Now let's clear up a common misconception. Balance doesn't mean splitting your time equally between work, family, health, and hobbies. That's not practical, and honestly, it's not necessary. Balance is about giving each area of your life the attention it needs when it needs it. Think of your life as a garden. You have different plants: your career, your family, your health, your personal growth. Each plant needs water and care, but not all at the same time or in the same amount. Some seasons may require more focus on your career, while others might demand you invest more time in your relationships or your health. The key is to tend to all areas so that no part of your garden withers away. The cost of neglect. Let's talk about what happens when you don't have balance. When you focus solely on work, other areas of your life start to suffer. Your health might take a back seat, skipping meals, losing sleep, ignoring exercise, all because you're too busy. Over time, that neglect catches up with you. It's hard to enjoy success when you're too tired or sick to appreciate it. Then there are relationships. How many people have found themselves estranged from loved ones because they were always too busy? Success feels hollow when you have no one to share it with. And let's not forget your peace of mind. Constantly running on empty leads to stress, anxiety, and eventually burnout. Here's the thing, balance isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, even the greatest achievements lose their meaning. Finding your priorities. To create balance, you first need to identify what truly matters to you, not what society says should matter. Not what your boss or peers think is important, but what you value. Ask yourself these questions. What kind of person do I want to be? What brings me joy and fulfillment? Who are the people that matter most to me? What does success mean in my terms, not someone else's? Once you're clear on your priorities, it becomes easier to allocate your time and energy accordingly. You'll stop saying yes to things that don't align with your values and start focusing on what truly matters. The role of health in balance. Let's talk about health for a moment, because it's often the first thing people sacrifice in the name of success. They skip meals, live on caffeine, and tell themselves they'll catch up on sleep later. But here's the harsh truth: you can't perform at your best if your body and mind are running on fumes. Success requires energy, focus, and resilience, all of which come from taking care of your health. Make time to eat well, exercise, and get enough rest. It's not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. And don't underestimate the power of mental health. Stress is inevitable, but how you manage it makes all the difference. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a break to breathe, prioritize your mental well-being as much as your physical health. Relationships, the cornerstone of fulfillment. Now, let's shift to relationships. No amount of success is worth it if it comes at the cost of your connections with others. Think about it: who's going to celebrate your wins with you if you've pushed everyone away? Relationships require time, effort, and presence. It's not enough to just show up physically, you need to be emotionally available too. Put down your phone during dinner. Take time to listen to your loved ones. Remember, success is sweeter when it's shared with people who care about you. The myth of "I'll balance later." One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, "I'll focus on balance once I've achieved my goals," but balance isn't something you can put off. It's not a box to check off once you've made it. If you wait until later to nurture your health, relationships, or personal growth, you might find that it's too late. The damage may already be done. Balance isn't a destination, it's a practice, a way of living that ensures you're growing in all areas of your life simultaneously. Practical steps toward balance. So how do you start building balance? Here are some simple steps. 1. Set boundaries. Learn to say no to things that drain your energy or don't align with your values. Protect your time like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. 2. Schedule what matters. Treat your health, relationships, and personal growth like appointments. If it's not on your calendar, it's too easy to neglect. 3. Reflect regularly. Take time each week to evaluate where you're spending your energy. Are you giving enough attention to the things that truly matter? If not, adjust. 4. Practice gratitude. Gratitude helps you appreciate what you have while striving for more. It keeps you grounded and prevents you from getting caught up in the endless pursuit of more. Success is a journey, not a sacrifice. Remember, success isn't about how much you can achieve, it's about how you live your life while achieving it. True success means thriving, not just surviving. It means excelling in your career without sacrificing your health, relationships, or peace of mind. Because at the end of the day, success without balance is like a beautiful house built on a shaky foundation. It may look impressive, but it won't stand the test of time. So strive for balance, not just achievement. That's where real fulfillment lies. Discipline equals freedom. Freedom is something we all want, isn't it? The freedom to live life on our own terms, to pursue our passions, to enjoy the things that truly matter to us. But here's the thing, no one tells you true freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want, whenever you want. It comes from discipline. Now, I know discipline might not sound exciting. It might even sound restrictive, like it's taking away your freedom. But it's actually the opposite. Discipline is the tool that gives you control over your life. Without it, you're not free. You're trapped by bad habits, poor decisions, and a lack of direction. Let's dive into what this really means and why discipline is the gateway to a life of purpose, happiness, and yes, freedom. The illusion of freedom without discipline. Many people think freedom means doing whatever feels good in the moment, eating whatever you want, spending money without a plan, skipping workouts because you don't feel like it. But what does that kind of freedom lead to? Over time, it leads to chaos. You wake up one day and realize your health is suffering, your finances are a mess, and your dreams are slipping further and further away. That's not freedom. That's being a slave to impulsive decisions. Real freedom comes from taking control of your life. And that starts with discipline, the power of self-control. Discipline is nothing more than self-control. It's the ability to make decisions today that will benefit you tomorrow. It's saying no to the easy path so you can say yes to the life you truly want. Think about your finances. Want financial freedom? It doesn't come from spending every dollar you earn. It comes from discipline, saving, investing, and living below your means. Sure, it might feel restrictive in the moment to skip buying that new gadget or eating out every night. But over time, that discipline compounds. It gives you the freedom to retire early, travel the world, or start the business you've always dreamed of. The same applies to your health. Want to feel strong and energized? It doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you commit to disciplined habits, eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. Discipline in these small daily actions creates the freedom to live a long, vibrant life. Discipline in action starts small, think big. Now let's address a common misconception. People often think discipline means overhauling your entire life overnight. They think it means waking up at 5 a.m., running 10 miles, and cutting out every indulgence immediately. That's not sustainable. The truth is, discipline starts small. Pick one habit, just one that you know will make a difference in your life. Maybe it's drinking more water each day. Maybe it's saving a small percentage of your income. Maybe it's spending 10 minutes reading instead of scrolling through social media. Start there. Master that one habit. Then add another and another. Over time, those small habits build momentum. They compound into massive progress. The discipline freedom paradox. Here's the paradox: the more disciplined you are, the more freedom you have. It sounds contradictory, but let's break it down. When you're disciplined with your time, you free yourself from the stress of procrastination and missed deadlines. You gain the freedom to spend your evenings with family or pursuing hobbies because you've managed your day effectively. When you're disciplined with your finances, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You're free to make choices, whether it's changing careers, taking time off, or investing in something you believe in. When you're disciplined with your health, you're not chained to doctor's visits or medications. You're free to enjoy activities, travel, and simply feel good in your own body. Discipline isn't about restriction, it's about choice. It's about creating the conditions that allow you to live the life you want. How to build discipline. Building discipline is like building a muscle. You don't start by lifting the heaviest weight. You start small and gradually increase the challenge. Here's a simple framework to help you build discipline in any area of your life. 1, set clear goals. You can't be disciplined if you don't know what you're working toward. Be specific. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by exercising 3 times a week and eating balanced meals. 2, create a plan. Discipline thrives on structure. Break your goal into actionable steps. If your goal is to save more money, outline exactly how much you'll save each month and where you'll cut back. 3, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Focus on one habit at a time. Once that habit becomes second nature, add another. 4, track your progress. Keep a record of your efforts. Seeing how far you've come is incredibly motivating and reinforces your commitment. 5, Reward yourself. Discipline doesn't mean depriving yourself of joy. Celebrate your milestones, even if it's something small like taking a day off or treating yourself to a nice meal. 6, embrace consistency over perfection. You're going to slip up. It's part of being human. The key is to get back on track quickly and not let one mistake derail your progress. The long-term payoff. Discipline might feel hard in the moment, but its rewards are long-lasting. Think about it like planting a tree. At first it requires effort watering it, protecting it from harsh weather. But over time, that tree grows strong and provides shade, fruit, and beauty for years to come. The habits you build through discipline are the same. They might feel like a lot of effort now, but they'll pay dividends in the future. Real-life examples of discipline leading to freedom. Look around at anyone you admire, whether it's an athlete, an entrepreneur, or a parent raising a thriving family. Behind their success is discipline. The athlete didn't become great by skipping workouts or eating junk food. They followed a disciplined training and nutrition plan which gave them the freedom to perform at the highest level. The entrepreneur didn't build their business by winging it. They worked tirelessly, made sacrifices, and stuck to a disciplined schedule. Now they enjoy the freedom of financial independence and doing work they love. The parent didn't raise confident, happy kids by being inconsistent. They showed up every day, set boundaries, and created a loving, stable environment through discipline. The ultimate freedom. At the end of the day, discipline is about ownership. It's about taking responsibility for your life and your choices. It's about deciding that you're in control, not your impulses or circumstances. When you embrace discipline, you gain freedom not just in your finances, health, or time, but in your mind. You free yourself from regret, stress, and the feeling of being stuck. You open the door to possibilities and opportunities. So what's the one area of your life where you can start practicing discipline today? Start small, stay consistent, and watch how that discipline transforms your life into one of true freedom. 4, relationships matter more than you think. Let me tell you something straightforward. No one achieves greatness alone. It's just not possible. The people you allow into your life, the ones you talk to, work with, and spend time with, have a profound influence on your success, your happiness, and your perspective on life. Relationships are not just a nice addition to life, they're a cornerstone of it. But here's the catch: relationships, like anything worthwhile, don't thrive on autopilot. They need care, attention, and effort. Think of them like a garden. If you ignore it, weeds take over. But if you nurture it, water it, and give it the right amount of sunlight, it flourishes. Let's break down why relationships matter so much and how you can cultivate the ones that truly enrich your life. The power of influence. Here's a truth that's as old as time: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Let that sink in for a moment. Look around at people in your life. Are they lifting you up, challenging you to be better, or inspiring you to grow? Or are they draining your energy, holding you back, and keeping you stuck in old patterns? It's not about judging others harshly, it's about being intentional with your time and energy. The right relationships can be your greatest asset, while the wrong ones can be your biggest liability. Investing in quality relationships. Building strong relationships takes effort. It's not about collecting as many friends as possible or maintaining shallow connections. It's about depth, trust, and mutual support. Ask yourself, who are the people in my life who truly matter? These might be family members, close friends, mentors, or even colleagues. Focus on nurturing those relationships. How do you do that? Simpler than you think. 1, show up consistently. Relationships thrive on reliability. Be there for the people who matter, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. 2, listen more than you talk. Everyone wants to feel heard and understood. Listening isn't just about waiting for your turn to speak. It's about genuinely paying attention and showing that you care. 3, express gratitude. Don't take people for granted. A simple thank you or I appreciate you can go a long way in strengthening a bond. 4, be generous with your time and energy. Relationships aren't about keeping score. Give without expecting anything in return. Be the first to lend a hand, offer support, or celebrate someone else's success. Letting go of toxic relationships. While it's essential to invest in meaningful relationships, it's equally important to recognize when a relationship is doing more harm than good. Some people, no matter how much effort you put in, will drain your energy, undermine your confidence, or pull you away from your goals. These are the toxic relationships that hold you back. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care about these people. It means you care enough about yourself to protect your energy and well-being. Ask yourself who in my life consistently brings negativity, then make a conscious decision to limit your time with them. This isn't easy, especially if those people have been in your life for a long time. But remember, your future depends on the relationships you cultivate today. Being the person others want to be around. Relationships aren't just about what others can do for you, they're also about who you are in those relationships. Are you someone who uplifts others, offers support, and brings positivity? Or are you someone who complains, criticizes, or takes more than you give? Be honest with yourself. The quality of your relationships often mirrors the quality of your character. Here's how you can be the kind of person others want to be around. 1. Be encouraging. Everyone is fighting a battle you can't see. A kind word or a bit of encouragement can make a world of difference. 2. Keep your promises. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. When you say you'll do something, follow through. 3. Be positive. No one likes to be around constant negativity. Focus on solutions, not problems, and find reasons to smile even on tough days. 4. Show empathy. Try to see things from the other person's perspective. Empathy builds connection and trust. The ripple effect of strong relationships. When you invest in quality relationships, the benefits go far beyond the relationship itself. Strong relationships give you a support system during tough times, a cheerleading squad during successes, and a network of people who genuinely care about your well-being. They also teach you valuable lessons about communication, patience, and forgiveness. They make life richer, more fulfilling, and yes, happier. And here's something else: the energy you give to others has a way of coming back to you. When you lift others up, they often do the same for you. The time to act is now. Don't wait until it's too late to strengthen the relationships that matter. Don't assume people know you care. Tell them, show them, and make the effort today. If there's someone you've lost touch with, reach out. If there's a relationship that's been strained, take the first step toward healing it. And if there's someone in your life who always supports you but rarely gets recognized, take a moment to say thank you. You mean a lot to me. Final thoughts on relationships. At the end of the day, success, happiness, and fulfillment aren't about what you achieve alone. They're about the connections you build and the lives you touch. Be intentional about the people you surround yourself with. Invest in relationships that matter. And most importantly, be the kind of person who makes others' lives better just by being in it. Remember, relationships are one of life's greatest treasures. Treat them as such. 5. Learn to let go. Holding on to the past is like dragging a heavy anchor through life. It slows you down, weighs on your mind, and keeps you from moving forward. Letting go isn't about forgetting or ignoring what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of things you can't control: grudges, mistakes, and unrealistic expectations. Let's explore why letting go is essential for happiness and how you can start practicing it today. 6. Growth is the key to fulfillment. Let me share something that many people never understand until it's too late. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Sure, staying comfortable feels good in the moment. It feels safe, predictable, and easy. But it doesn't lead to fulfillment. True happiness, the kind that lasts, comes from growth. Growth is what happens when you challenge yourself to go beyond what you think is possible. It's the process of learning, evolving, and becoming more than you were yesterday. And yes, it's uncomfortable. It's not always fun. but it's always worth it. So why does growth matter so much? Let's break it down. The problem with staying comfortable. Think about a time when you felt stuck. Maybe it was in a job you didn't love, a routine that felt monotonous, or a situation where you knew you could do better but didn't. What was the common thread? Well, comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it's like a soft cage. You don't notice it at first because it's cozy. But over time, it restricts you. It keeps you from reaching your potential. The truth is, growth and comfort cannot coexist. You have to choose one. And if you choose comfort, you might avoid short-term pain, but you also miss out on long-term fulfillment. Growth builds confidence. Here's the thing about growth. Every time you push yourself, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more. And that builds confidence. Think about it. When you tackle something difficult, a new skill, a challenging project, or even a tough conversation, you come out stronger on the other side. You develop a belief in yourself that no one can take away. Confidence isn't about pretending you have all the answers. It's about knowing that whatever comes your way, you have the ability to figure it out. And that belief only comes from growth. Setting goals that stretch you. If you want to grow, you have to set goals that stretch you. Not just goals that are convenient or easy to achieve, but ones that challenge you to step outside your comfort zone. Ask yourself, what's one area of my life where I want to improve? Maybe it's your career, your health, or your relationships. Whatever it is, set a goal that pushes you. For example, if you want to grow professionally, take on a project that feels slightly out of your league. If you want to improve your health, commit to a fitness routine that challenges your current limits. If you want to deepen your relationships, have that honest conversation you've been avoiding. The key is to aim high enough that you feel a little nervous, but not so high that it feels impossible. Growth happens in that sweet spot between comfort and fear. Embracing the process. Here's something most people get wrong about growth. They think it's about the destination. It's not. Growth is about the process. The real magic happens when you're in the middle of it, when you're learning, struggling, and figuring things out. That's where you build character. That's where you discover what you're made of. So don't rush the process. Don't focus so much on the end goal that you forget to appreciate the journey. Celebrate the small wins along the way. They're just as important as the big ones. The role of failure in growth. Let's talk about failure because it's an inevitable part of growth. In fact, failure is a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself. When you fail, don't see it as the end. See it as feedback. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? Failure isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's part of the process, and it's what makes success so rewarding. Growth in every area of life. Growth isn't just about your career or your skills. It's about every area of your life. It's about becoming a better parent, partner, friend, or leader. It's about improving your mindset, your health, and your relationships. Remember, growth is personal. It's not about comparing yourself to others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Take the first step. Here's the good news: growth doesn't require massive changes overnight. It starts with small, consistent steps. Want to grow intellectually? Read one book that challenges your thinking. Want to grow physically? Start with 10 minutes of exercise a day. Want to grow emotionally? Practice gratitude or journal your thoughts. The point is to start. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Final thoughts on growth? If you want a life of meaning, fulfillment, and happiness, you have to embrace growth. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Remember, the biggest risk isn't trying and failing. It's staying comfortable and missing out on who you could become. 7. Gratitude creates abundance. Let me tell you a secret about happiness. It's not about having more. It's about appreciating what you already have. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need more money, more recognition, more stuff. And while there's nothing wrong with striving for success, there's a problem when you base your happiness on what you don't have. Gratitude flips the script. Instead of focusing on lack, it helps you see abundance. And the more you focus on abundance, the more it grows. Why gratitude matters. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea, it's a powerful tool. It changes the way you see the world. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you train your brain to look for the good. And when you look for the good, you find it even in difficult situations. Gratitude also shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of thinking, I'll be happy when I have more, you start thinking, I already have so much to be thankful for. How to practice gratitude. Gratitude doesn't have to be complicated. It's about small, intentional actions that help you focus on the positive. Start with these simple practices. 1. Morning gratitude each morning. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small: your health, a kind word from a friend, or even a good cup of coffee. 2. Gratitude walks. Take a walk and focus on the things around you that bring joy: a beautiful sky, fresh air, or the sound of birds. 3. Gratitude journal at the end of each day. Reflect on one thing that made your day better. 4. Express gratitude. Tell someone you appreciate them. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day and deepen your connection. Gratitude in tough times. It's easy to be grateful when things are going well. The real challenge is finding gratitude in difficult times. When life gets tough, gratitude helps you focus on what's still good. It reminds you that even in the darkest moments, there's something to be thankful for: a lesson, a silver lining, or the strength you've gained. The ripple effect of gratitude. Gratitude doesn't just make you happier, it also impacts those around you. When you practice gratitude, you become a more positive, uplifting presence in others' lives. And positivity is contagious. Final thoughts on gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a practice, it's a way of life. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing to what's present. So take a moment today to appreciate what you have. Not because you're settling, but because happiness begins with gratitude. Remember, when you focus on abundance, abundance grows. 8. Your environment shapes your life. Take a moment to think about the environment you're in right now. Not just the physical space, but the people, the energy, and the habits that surround you daily. Your environment is more powerful than you might realize. It's like the soil in which you're trying to grow. If the soil is toxic or lacking nutrients, your growth is stunted. Your environment shapes your thoughts, your mood, and ultimately your actions. Spend too much time around negativity, and you'll find yourself drained, uninspired, and stuck. On the flip side, surround yourself with positivity, encouragement, and inspiration, and you'll feel lifted, motivated, and ready to take on the world. The truth is, you can't always control everything about your environment, but you have more control than you think. Start by evaluating your surroundings. Look at the people you spend the most time with. Do they inspire you, support you, or do they criticize and hold you back? Now, this doesn't mean you cut everyone out of your life. It means you prioritize. Spend more time with those who uplift you and less with those who drain you. And if you can't avoid negativity entirely, counter it by creating positive habits that recharge you, like reading, exercising, or working on a passion project. Your physical space matters too. Is your home or workspace a place where you can focus and feel creative? Or is it cluttered and chaotic? A simple change like organizing your desk or adding something inspiring to your space can make a big difference. Remember, your environment is like a mirror of your future. If you want to grow, thrive, and become the person you aspire to be, start by shaping the world around you. 9. Resilience is built, not given. Life is full of ups and downs. That's just the way it is. But what sets successful people apart isn't the absence of challenges, it's their ability to rise after falling. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Think about a time when you faced a setback. Maybe it was a job you didn't get, a relationship that ended, or a personal goal you fell short of. In that moment, it probably felt like the end of the world. But looking back, you likely see how that experience made you stronger, wiser, or more prepared for the future. Resilience starts with your mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, ask, what can I learn from this? Every challenge, every failure, every setback is an opportunity to grow. It doesn't mean it's easy, it means it's worth it. Building resilience also requires action. Start by taking small steps to face your fears or push through obstacles. Each time you overcome something difficult, no matter how small, you build confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes next. And don't forget the role of perspective. Often what feels like a massive failure today is just a stepping stone for tomorrow's success. Keep your focus on the bigger picture. The more you practice resilience, the stronger you become. And over time, you'll realize that no matter what life throws your way, you have the ability to rise, adapt, and move forward. 10. Happiness is a daily practice. Happiness isn't some far-off goal you achieve after hitting milestones or crossing finish lines. It's not waiting for you in a new job, a new city, or a new relationship. Happiness is something you create every single day. It starts with your mindset. Instead of waiting for the big moments like promotions or vacations, learn to find joy in the small things. A smile from a stranger, a good cup of coffee, or a quiet moment to yourself. Happiness hides in the details. But here's the catch, happiness requires effort. It's not going to fall into your lap. You have to make time for the things that bring you joy. That could mean reconnecting with an old hobby, spending quality time with loved ones, or simply stepping outside to breathe in fresh air. Happiness also comes from purpose. When you set meaningful goals and work toward them, you create a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Gratitude is another key ingredient. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Take a moment each day to reflect on something you're grateful for. Remember, happiness isn't something that just happens to you, it's something you practice. So today, choose to create it. Choose to focus on the good, take small steps towards your goals, and cherish the moments that make life meaningful. Happiness isn't about luck or circumstance, it's about the choices you make every day. By focusing on what you can control, building habits that align with your values, and appreciating the journey, you create a life that's not just successful, but deeply fulfilling.